Hello everybody, I'm Christopher from ChinaMobileMag.com, and today I'm having a look at the Huawei Honor 6 smartphone with you. This is a mid-range phone from Huawei featuring the high silicon Kirin 920 processor along with 3 gigs of RAM, a 5-inch screen and a 13 megapixel camera. Now, I had this phone in the test for over a week and I'm gonna tell you how it performs. So this is the packaging of the Huawei Honor 6, and as you can see, this is kind of a standard phone box in color blue with the Honor logo on top, and on the rear we find a little sticker with the phone's specs, mostly in Chinese, and here we also find the Huawei logo and some DTS certification sign. This can be pulled open towards the top, but I have pulled out all the accessories already, so we can do that more quickly. You get a wall charger with the phone, which is quite large. You also get a micro USB cable in white color with the phone. Then you get 2 protectors, one for the rear of the phone and one for the front. And you also get a quick start guide with high printing quality as well as some other documents. That's all about the specs. You don't get any headphones or protectors or cases or anything else with the phone. So here is the phone itself. I have it in color black, and as you can see, this is looking rather simple but still quite nice. We have a phone call speaker here on the front along with a front camera, the status LED which is flashing right now, and some sensors. There are no touch buttons here below the screen. Those get displayed on the screen itself. To be honest, this is the very first phone I'm testing which doesn't have the touch keys here below the screen. It took me a while to get used to that, but actually it's quite handy to have them on the screen itself, because you can hold it like that while watching a movie or something without having to worry about pressing any button. So let's have a look at the sides, and here it might seem to you like we have a metal frame, but this is not the case. This is plastic, even though it looks like metal, and this frame is going around the phone at all sides except the lower side. Talking about the lower side, what do we find here? We have a microphone here for calls and a micro USB port with OTG support for charging and data transfers. Then on the right side we have a little flap which you can pull open using your fingernail, and this is actually uncovering the slots of the phone. Those are 1 micro SD slot and 2 micro SIM slots, both supporting LTE with this LO2 model of this phone. Then we also have an on-off switch and a volume rocker. Else we have an IR blaster on the top along with another microphone and a 3.5mm headphone jack. And the left side is completely empty, as you have seen before. The rear has some cover on it which I think is glass. However, there are some voices rising up claiming that this isn't glass but plastic instead. Well, I'm not exactly sure about it. If I knock on it, it sounds like glass, like the front of the phone, but I can't exactly tell you if this is plastic or glass. And that being said, what do we find here? We have the rear camera along with a dual LED flash, we have the Honor logo, and we have a media speaker for the phone and a little imprint here saying something about Chinese and the model of this phone and the CMIT ID, which is the certification identification number for China. All in all, I have to say that the build quality is pretty good, and the phone is pretty light at 135 grams at weight and also very thin at 8 millimeters of thickness. So now I've turned on the Huawei Honor 6, and as you can see, the screen of this handset is pretty nice. It has nice colors, everything is crystal clear and very sharp, and this is a 5-inch 1080p panel, so the pixel density is pretty high, and we can verify that by going closer to the screen, and as you can see, you pretty much can't see any pixels on here. What I have to say is that the brightness of the screen is very high and can be controlled flawlessly, and it's even working perfectly fine with automatic brightness adjustment. And I have to say that you can even read the screen contents while being outside, and this is something not every phone can do, and this is really good in terms of the Huawei Honor 6. So let's have a look at the viewing angles of this phone, and as you can see, those are pretty good as well. There is no change in colors, the brightness is going down evenly from all sides, and you can really see everything from every viewing angle here. So that's really top notch, and I really like this one. What I also have to say is that the digitizer of this phone is pretty good. It's very precise. It also offers a glove mode, so you can actually use it with gloves in winter and will still recognize your inputs. And there's almost no input lag, as you can see here. It's reacting very fast and precisely, and even small movements get recognized. So that's a really good digitizer. And the only thing I really don't like about it is that it's a fingerprint magnet. There is no coating on top of it, which would prevent it from getting fingerprints or making it easier to clean it. So that's pretty much the only downside of the screen. The Huawei Honor 6 comes with the HiSilicon Kirin 920 processor, which is a processor made by Huawei. And I have to say that this one is a pretty good processor. It's kind of an upper mid-range processor featuring 8 cores based on the ARM Cortex-A7 architecture, and it actually features 4 cores clocked at a maximum of 1.3 GHz and another 4 cores clocked at up to 1.7 GHz. So it's basically kind of a big little architecture, which is optimized for a good ratio between power consumption and performance. And during daily use, the Huawei Honor 6 in terms of UI fluidity and performance really is up to high-end level. Also, while browsing the internet or something, there are no lags, everything is running perfectly smooth, and I really like that. Only while playing games you notice that this isn't a high-end processor, as these are lagging a bit, at least high-end games are lagging a bit. They're still perfectly playable, but you definitely notice that they aren't running as smooth as on a Snapdragon 801 processor. So now I will cater the needs of the benchmark fans around you guys, so let's have a look at Antutu, and here you see that the Huawei Honor 6 reaches 40,820 points in here. But don't be misled about this score, this is kind of a fake score. Now let's remember back the Snapdragon 801 processor. This one reaches also around 40,000 to 42,000 points in the Antutu benchmark version 5. But it also reaches very high scores in other benchmarks. And well, we are used to fake processors showing high Antutu scores but low scores in other benchmarks, and this is exactly the case here. So don't get me wrong, this processor is not bad, it's still a lot better than a MediaTek MT6592 octa-core processor, but it does not reach a Snapdragon 801, 800 or Nvidia Tegra K1. So that being said, let's have a look at the other benchmark results, and here in Valemo you see that it reached 1,307 points in the metal test, 1,728 points in the multi-core test, and 1,584 points in the browser test. So that's still higher than a MT6592, but a lot lower than a Snapdragon 801. Next, let's have a look at GFX bench, and I won't talk much about that, and here you can see the same thing happen again. And last but not least, the 3DMark benchmark. Here we reached 14,249 points in the iStorm Unlimited benchmark, and you remember the Snapdragon 801 reached above 20,000 points here. But the HiSilicon Kirin 920 is still above a MediaTek NTX 592, as the MediaTek chipset only reaches around 9,000 points in here. So that's about the performance, and I will show you some of it now in the performance demo. Now in terms of multimedia, the Huawei Honor 6 does a pretty good job, at least up to 1080p videos. As you can see, I'm trying to play a 4K video here right now and you see it's lagging like hell. This is simply too much for the processor or the GPU inside of there. And well, that's a little bit sad considering the high Antutu score of the phone, but we all know that this isn't anything true. So I'm actually not disappointed. I don't know how it is with you, but well, I certainly can live without 4K video. The really important thing for me is audio quality, and to be honest with you, this phone really does a good job, and I think Huawei did really implement a very good audio chipset inside this processor. Let's start with the 3.5mm headphone jack. When I plug a headphone inside this, I can really enjoy a very good audio quality. It's crystal clear, lots of details, really balanced, and a great bass playback. And this is also the case, of course, with some hi-fi system attached to this port. Now the internal media speaker is of course nothing really high-end, it's just a mono speaker, but it still has a very good audio quality. It can go pretty high volume, yet does show no distortions or anything. It still sounds crystal clear, also very balanced, and it also has a decent bass playback. And I will show that now to you after a little cut in the audio demo. Regarding reception quality, I have to say that the Huawei Honor 6 is a brand device, and from a brand device you really expect a very good reception quality, because this is what a phone is made for. It has to receive signals, and this is certainly what the Huawei Honor 6 does. It has a very good reception quality. I didn't have any issues with 2G or 3G. It does support LTE, but I wasn't able to test it as we only have T-Mobile LTE here and I don't have a contract for this one. And well, still I can receive the network. It shows to me when I search for network, so I assume it is working pretty good. Regarding Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, I have to say that this one is also working perfectly well. In terms of Wi-Fi, I can walk through a whole house and won't have any issues with the reception quality going down or anything. It just works, and this is really good in my opinion. NFC doesn't exist with this phone. There are models of the Honor 6 which does support NFC. Mine doesn't. And the remaining part is of course GPS, and you might worry a bit about that because we are pretty much used to only Qualcomm chipsets having a very good reception quality for GPS. But trust me, Huawei really did a good job when designing the Kirin 920 chipset, as this one also has a really good GPS reception quality. So let me just pull up a screenshot, and here you see the signal strength is pretty good. It also does support GLONASS, and this was outside under very cloudy sky. I had 20 satellites in view, which is a lot. I fixed for 6 and 6 meters of accuracy. And I also have to say that the fix times are very fast. This fix has been established within like 3 seconds or something, and that's definitely the same like a Qualcomm chipset, so you can't tell any difference here. And also within the house it still worked perfectly fine. This was within the house, no window nearby, and this was also within the house, within a window nearby, so you see a difference, but not that huge, and the fix was still possible. So you probably won't have any issues at all with GPS when it comes to the Huawei Honor 6. Now the camera was something that really surprised me with this phone, as I did only expect a mid-range camera and no high-end quality camera, but the pictures taken with this phone definitely are high-end quality. Under daylight they're perfectly sharp, great depth of field, great colors, just like with a digital camera. And only at night it still does a pretty good job. Yes, there is a noise, but that's pretty much normal with every phone camera. But the noise here isn't as high as you would expect it to be. The pictures are still perfectly fine. And also the LED flash does a perfect job. It's very bright. The colors are probably not that good, but that's because the light color can't be optimized here for the object you want to take a picture of. So that's still perfectly acceptable, but you can still create very sharp and almost noise-free images depending on how you do the pictures. And what I also like about this camera is that the focus does work very reliable and fast, enabling you to do extremely nice macro shots. So it's really fun doing pictures with this camera. And what I also like is that the shutter time is rather short, so you simply press the button and bam, you have a picture. No need to wait for anything. That's really a plus. And another nice feature this one is offering is that you don't even need to activate your phone and unlock it if you want to take a really quick picture of something, like a bird is flying by and you want to take a picture of it. Simply hold the phone towards the bird and then press the volume down button for 2 times and you will have your picture without unlocking your phone or anything. So that's pretty neat. And what I also like is that the video quality is offering a pretty good audio quality. So the video quality itself, there is a maximum of 1080p resolution. The quality is okay, it's not the best one, but it's still okay. But the audio quality is really good, and when I compare that to the Xiaomi Mi 4, in my opinion at least, the camera of the Huawei Honor 6 is a bit better than the one of the Xiaomi Mi 4, simply because it has a better low light performance. And also the audio quality during video recordings is better. So that's my take on the camera of the Huawei Honor 6. The battery is another part about the Huawei Honor 6 that really surprised me. We have a 3100 milliamp cell inside of there, which is quite a lot, to be honest with you, considering that this is a 5-inch phone with a thickness of only 8 millimeters. So what about the runtime? Well, I'm a power user, as you know. And I have to say that the battery lasts full 2 days easily with me. And this is really good in my opinion, and really one of the best phones in terms of battery life I had so far. When it comes to weekends, I even reach 3 days. So Friday, Saturday and Sunday, the phone lasts till the evening of Sunday, and that's pretty good, I think. And if I do a lot of power saving and don't use the phone too heavily, I might even reach 4 days, and so might you. Just to give you an idea of the battery life, once in the evening I played Real Racing 3 for 2 hours without a break. I started at 100% battery, and after the 2 hours I still had 60% battery left. So just so you can imagine how long the battery lasts. So roughly you could probably play 4 hours of Real Racing 3 and the battery would be at 20% afterwards. So that's pretty good in my opinion, and really one of the best performing batteries I have seen so far. Charging it, however, takes a little longer at 3 hours. And of course, the charging time will go up quite a bit if you use the phone from time to time while charging it. So we reached already the final conclusion part of this review video, and I have to say that the Huawei Honor 6 really did surprise me. It's an amazing phone. I never had a Huawei phone before, but I'm really impressed with the performance of this one, especially for the price. The Huawei Honor 6 is priced around 370 bucks right now from China. Now this is quite a lot of money, but you also get quite some stuff for it. You get a great 5-inch screen with a pretty good quality, lots of features, a really good camera, a really good reception quality. You get LTE support, you get dual SIM LTE support, and you even can expand the memory using a micro SD card. 16 GB are the internal memory. You get 3 GB of RAM. This thing has a really good performance. And well, you probably notice I'm really impressed with this phone, and I really love this one. I would take it for myself if I wouldn't love my Star 7589 so much. And well, so if you're looking for a brand phone that's affordable and has a really good price performance ratio, I think this one is a really good phone for you. So that's all from my side. If you want to purchase it, have a look at coolicool.com or at any other shop which is having the phone in stock right now. I guess coolicool.com is one of the cheapest offers right now. It belongs to Evox Shop and Okis and so on. These guys are known for providing insane prices for the device from China, without doing too much advertising here now. So I want to finish this review now, as I have said everything. I hope you liked this video. If you like what we at ChinaMobileMag are doing every day, please make sure to subscribe to this channel, like us on Facebook, Google+, and follow us on Twitter. So thanks for watching this video again. Have a good one. Bye bye.